Mistletoe and Cocoa Kisses, Heart of the Family, Book 1. Written by Stacy Eaton. Narrated by Lisa Beacom. Chapter 1. Robin. No. I groaned out as my old heap of junk began to sputter and slow down. Please don't fail me now. This was the last thing that I needed. My car made a final cha-chunk and died as I struggled to steer it to the side of the snow-packed road, or as far to the side of the road as I could get it with a 3-foot snowplow bank piled along the fog line. A thump, thump, thump of my windshield wipers was the only sound other than the wind whipping around my 10-year-old piece of crap car. Yes, it was a piece of crap. Normally, I babied the hell out of it, cooing like an idiot so it would keep going, but right now, it was letting me down, just like everyone else in my life. I closed my eyes and let my head fall back on the headrest while the windshield wipers kept their rhythmic tattoo. I'm going to freeze to death out here, and that sound is the last one I am ever going to hear. Great. Just freaking great. I sighed as I opened my tired eyes and studied my dash in the darkness. It looked like a deformed Christmas tree with all the lights in gold and red glaring back at me. Was there any indicator light that wasn't lit up? I leaned closer. Oh yeah, my seatbelt light wasn't on. Hey, at least it knows I'm wearing my seatbelt. What the hell was I going to do? I was 4 hours from my home thanks to rush hour traffic out of the city. Okay, not my home anymore, but where I used to live. And I was 8 hours from my intended destination. Well, 8 hours if the roads hadn't turned to shit. Why hadn't I checked the weather before I'd left? I'd had no idea that another storm was coming through. I rested my head on my steering wheel, trying not to burst into tears. I'd been in such a rush to get out of there that I hadn't paid any attention to anything. Not the warning light on my car's dash, and certainly not the weather. Gah! And why hadn't I taken the highway? The highway would have been so much better. At least there might have been other motorists on the road that could have stopped to help me, but no. I had to adjust my GPS so that I avoided the toll roads. What should have been a nice drive through northern Pennsylvania had now turned into my own personal road to hell. I shivered. The temperature was already dropping inside my car, and I glanced in the back to see if I could find the blanket that I had packed. Somewhere under all that crap was a blanket. I could totally picture the beloved crocheted throw my grandmother had made for me when I'd moved away from home 13 years ago. The memory of the deep colors and the yarn already warmed me until I remembered it was at the very bottom of the pile. Down there under 3 suitcases, 2 boxes, and another 2 trash bags full of junk was warmth. There was no way I was going to be able to get it unless I got out of the car and pulled things out of the back seat. I looked out the windshield. The wind was whipping the snow so fast over the roadway that I could barely see 10 feet in front of my car, and that was with the illumination of my dimming headlights. Suck it up, Robin, you got this. I buttoned my short coat up the best that I could and tried to pull the collar up tightly around my neck. Why hadn't I bought a warm, durable winter coat instead of the fashion plate bargain that looked great but didn't do anything but flatter my soon-to-be frozen figure? Vanity, that's why. Pure, stupid vanity. I had to use all my weight to push the door open against the force of the wind, and when I tried to stand, my feet slipped out from under me and my elbow struck the door while I went almost completely under the car. I gasped as the breath was knocked out of my lungs and winced as my head smacked the ice-covered pavement. Oh, awesome, I thought, as I sucked in a cold mouthful of air. Now I will die from a concussion while I'm freezing under my car. The cold air in my lungs almost burned, and I tucked my mouth into my collar. I managed to pull myself back up to my feet, gently probing the back of my head and checking my fingers to make sure I wasn't bleeding.